accent. And he's like, and we need to do this, and you need to do this with energy and enthusiasm, right? And when he said it, I just started cracking up. And it was like I was in Hawaii. And I never forgot that. And I'm cracking up now. And it lightens the mood. The American job, do you really own it? Just look at the sign. Jobs for all at decent pay. I want you to think about that. She's probably a very nice lady, but she doesn't really understand how job development in business actually works. You just can't give everyone a decent job at a decent pay. It doesn't work that way. That person must earn that pay. We're about to chop it up, y'all. Hey, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. First, a few announcements. The storage auction contest is still in effect. You can join or enter by attaching your video to the one below. It's real simple. Just make that happen and you can still be in effect. Once again, it does not end until November 15th. Also, I started last night with the Storage Auction Boot Camp. The first segment, and there's 2 boot camps. There's the personal consultation services and there's the overview of my book, Making Money A to Z with Self-Storage Unit Auctions, the Silver Edition 2011. Went off really nice, and since there are so many people who have weird schedules, this is what I'm going to do. Tomorrow is the next makeup day for the webinar that went down last night at 3 p.m. If you want to sign up, just email me at bootcamp@storageauctionguru.com. The requirement, you had to buy the book. It's that simple. Because if you don't have the book, you're going to be lost. You're going to be like, what? Because I'm literally going over the book. It's going to take me several sessions. I figure 6 to 8. And at the end of those sessions, I'm going to put it together as an audio CD. At that point, you can buy the whole thing, but it's going to be, I haven't decided the price, but it's not going to be $9.99. It's not. Just letting you know. All right. Time to get into it. The title of today's segment, The American Job. Right now, there's a huge focus, and this is really pertains to you. Because a lot of you who watch this channel are business owners, or you want to be a business owner. And I'm hearing a lot of stuff that I don't think is correct, because I'm going to give you the background that took me on the path that I'm currently embarked on, and how that whole thing jumped off, and maybe it'll help you. Because I never thought any job that I ever had was mine. Understand, if you look at me, I got a tan, a really nice tan, and it doesn't fade. In the summer, it even gets more chocolatey. But because of that tan, there are certain things that happen to me, and I'm treated a little differently, which makes me respond to the world a little differently. I just got over it. People go, racism doesn't exist. It does. Don't even lie to yourself. It does. But is it as impactful as it was when my grandfather was alive? No, it's not. It is not as impactful as what my mother went through. Each decade it gets a little bit better, but let's, under no stretch of the imagination, pretend that it's gone. So, with that, I know that when I had a job, because of the tan, I could be fired at any time for any reason. So I never developed this, it's my job. You owe me the right to have this job. Back in 1989, 1990, a good friend of mine, we were both at Fort McPherson in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were discussing the plight of black people. As a black man, this was the conversation. We said, you got 2 choices. Get all the education that you can, with a master's degree being the minimum, or start your own business. He went to law school. I kind of went toward going back to school, but I took out legal paths, and I just did opportunity cost and scenarios, and for me, it did not work out. Because every time it was like, okay, go ahead and get this degree, then bam, go ahead and get this master's, and the timelines, it was like, it was a 10 to 15 year timeline. And I was just like, and really, honestly, the industries that I had picked, I would have been screwed. So fortunately for me, I didn't go that way, because I just looked at the money and they just said, if I build a business, and because I did a lot of research about business, because this is the deal, whatever business you have, if you can weather those first 2 to 3 years, usually if you're doing the right things and you're managing the money right, it's going to work out and you pick the right business and you're going to make more than an average income. And that just stuck with me. So I tried it and I tried it. And for me, the path was to go into, outside sales, commission sales, because it's like you're self-employed. Because if you really don't make it happen, you really don't make it rain, you don't get paid. So going through that kind of weeded me into going into full self-employment. So that is how I arrived at that place, because I knew going in that at any time, at any juncture, shh. And it's just like I said, just got over. So I don't, when I'm hearing all this stuff, it's like they're shipping American jobs overseas. Understand, you play a huge role in that, because when they talk about the shareholders, that's you. When they talk about the customers who want extremely low prices, that's you. Do you understand that? It's not like all these corporations. Well, some are just pure greed. I'm not going to dispel that and go, oh no, but some are greedy. But you play a huge role. A huge role in this madness. It is funny because it's like the laws of supply and demand. When the laws of supply and demand work in your favor, it's all good. Prices are low, you're getting great deals, you're doing the happy dance in the aisle because you got a great deal. But once this flips and prices go up, oh shit, it's a conspiracy. Man, something's wrong. Netflix, which I have a membership, and when it went up, I didn't care because I get full value out of it. I watch like 10, 15 movies a month. So for me, even at the $16, it was worth it, because you go to one movie with a date, that's 23. You have popcorn, that's 30, that's $40. So I didn't really care. But they had 818,000 people unsubscribe and say, we don't like you and we're moving on. And their stock dropped like 25, 28% because they raised their prices. How dare they? How dare they? A company in business to make money? How dare they? Oh, they're there to serve you. So the stuff with the American jobs, it's like, it's not just the corporations. It's not the government. You play a huge role because people want the most for the least. And life does not work that way. It doesn't. And that's one of the things that's really creating a lot of problems. Now, this is how you can have your own personal Occupy Wall Street moment. For me, I decided to take control of my life, my future, my finances a long time ago. In the beginning, it was rough. Do you understand me? It was rough. I had situations where my employees were making more, and I'm not talking about paying all the payroll. I'm talking about that each one had a bigger paycheck than the kid. Do you understand that? They were making more money than I was. I was freaking eating like Campbell's soup and rice and pork and beans and, turkey sandwiches and stuff. Because I can tell you, my weekly grocery budget was $45 to $60 because it had to be. It had to be. But I understand I was building an asset, the business. Then one day, after all that hard work and struggle, it's going to flip. And it's going to be wild because you'll make more money in a week than you made in a month previously. Then they'll flip again. And then you'll start making more money in a month than you did in a year. Because in the beginning, you weren't making anything. And it just flips and it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And because so many people do not want to put that type of time and effort and dedication to something, a lot of folks think it's unfair that when someone does have a business and they start making money like that, it's like, you must have robbed somebody. You must know somebody. I'm a poor little special ed kid that grew up in one of those statistical black households that did well. And one of the reasons is education. I rail on about a college degree and everything. Understand, don't get it twisted. Education is of super importance. Where we're going to split hairs is, where do you get that education? For me, a real world education, travel, living in Japan for 5 months, going to Australia, going to Europe, and just hanging out with people from different cultures, being in the military, and doing a tremendous amount of reading from the 6th grade up until now. That was my education, and actually starting a business and failing. and starting another one and failing, and starting another one and failing, and starting another one and failing. And this is one of the reasons that I'm so freaking arrogant. I earned it. I earned every arrogant breath that comes out of my body. There was a time I was homeless for a short period of time, and there was a period where it was really rough for me financially. I mean, rough. I'm talking not even 2 pennies to rub together. I'm talking about 2-3 weeks getting no money for 2 or 3 weeks. And when it comes in, it's like, I gotta buy this, because I got to survive. And when you go through that stuff and you come through the other side, you're a different person. Many people are delaying personal development and growth because they refuse to go through this process. They refuse. And I'm going to say it, some of those people who are sitting in the park are those folks. There are some people who did the right thing and got screwed. There are people who lost their pensions, it was mismanaged, and they were hoodwinked. But that's not everybody. Because we got this group that just thinks that life should be easy and things should come with really not a lot of work. And it doesn't work like that, players. It does not work like that. So if you are willing to put forth the effort to create your own economy, to actually realize that no one owes you anything. Because, I think my Alabama roots are just like popping all up, because Alabama's a very conservative state. And for the first 18 years of my life, that's where I was. I can't help it. I really can't help it, because sometimes I listen to myself and I was like, damn, you really sound like a freaking Republican. It's crazy, because I'm like, some of the stuff they do is like, you got to be crazy. And then other things, it makes sense. But some, like, take one thing. I think they're crazy. Like, oh, this taxation and business. No, if you want to start a business, you're going to start a business. This corporate thing, because everybody's like stuck on the corporations, and they're going to do what they're going to do. And they're going to make their money, because some of these corporations are very well run. They have the right people in place, and they're not going to do anything stupid. So, hey, that's the way it is. And for you, create your own corporation. That's your way out. But understand, the path is fraught with rocks, snakes, deers, and gangsters and swindlers on that road to success. That's the reality. So you could take your choices. You could be over here being, I can't help myself, I'm a victim. Or you can put your cape on, tie that sucker on, and be your own personal hero and ride off into the sunset. I choose to live a life of being a hero, a warrior, and if I go down fighting. All of this, whimper, whimper, wimpy, wimpy, that's not for me. That's not for me. Based on my family legacy, the blood of survivors, the blood of people who went through unimaginable horrors, that's what made me. And I'm not going to disappoint those people by being a wimp. I'm not. It's just not, because I'm telling you, it gets better if you work at it. It gets better. Can I say when? No. Can I give you timetables? No, because I don't know you. Don't know your capabilities at all. But it does get better. So this is your task for this week. Sit down with a pen and paper and really come up with a plan how you can create your own security. Whatever that may be. There's a lot of people that watch this channel who own businesses, and they have no interest in ever going to a storage auction. But they like the advice. So think about what you can do to create your own security. Think about it. There are 308 million people in this country. And there are certain things that those people need that are never going away. Food, clothing, shelter. They need these things, and they have to pay for them. There's so many businesses you can start. Just be imaginative. There's so many things you can do. And start thinking, I can do this. I can win. And here's something for you that I use. Being self-employed, having your own business, is hard. And you really have to keep yourself pumped up. You really have to have the right attitude. And, when I have those days, and I have, they happen. I'm human. I do things to perk myself up, and some of them are quite silly. And this is one. You've heard me say it in the video, but sometimes when I'm kind of funky, I just walk around the place going, you got to do this with energy and enthusiasm. And I start cracking up, because you can't say it like that without feeling a little bit better. And then you just do it, and you put a little, like I said, just say it. Just go, energy and enthusiasm. I got this from a coach who had this crazy accent, and he's like, and we need to do this, and you need to do this with energy and enthusiasm, right? And when he said it, I just started cracking up, and it was like I was in Hawaii, and I never forgot that, and I'm cracking up now, and it lightens the mood, and it clears your brain where you can focus on what you need to focus on. So that's my gift from me to you today. A little energy and enthusiasm. Go ahead and say it. I said, say it 5 times. If you're not cracking up, something's wrong with you. All right, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions.